Well, good afternoon. It is the afternoon already. This morning I had some totes to load up, and then went in and had breakfast, came back out and made a few bags that I had to make. And that's where your typical Saturday disaster struck. Saturday morning, of all mornings, there was a hex shaft somewhere internally in that mill that actually drives the unload auger that snapped. So of course, what are you going to do, right? It's Saturday, so nothing's really open. Certainly no welding shops or machine shops are really open. Do you really want to pay a call-out charge and stuff for a 10-inch hex shaft, 10-inch long by 1-inch hex shaft? Probably not. So what did I do? I reached into the old phone book there and phoned my neighbor. So my neighbor is a machinist and he has the tooling. So I texted him and I said, hey, what's the chances that you have a 1-inch hex shaft stock about 10 inches long? And he called me right away and he said, I don't have that, but I can build it. So I thought, perfect. And he said, do you need it today? And I said, well, I mean, it would be nice to have it today because I could get those bags made, but not required. And he said, well, I got to run to town right now. I got to do some errands, and then when I get home, I'll build it for you. So I just got back from I'm just getting back from his place. I took the 2 broken pieces, so he has the exact pattern that he needs. Wasn't a total waste of trip though, because we have a couple of fields on the way to his place. One being this half section right here. And I have a feeling, yay, that this might be one of the first ones to seed this year. So this was that pea and canola mix last year. And it's always wet in this corner. But I think out in the field, it might go. And I was trying to look back in the book. I think due to the fact that the fall was so long last year, I think we were able to get out here late in the fall once it was combined and it turned green again and spray it. So it could be a good piece of ground for direct seeding. Of course, there's a bunch of worry about dry. So you don't want to do any extra tillage really if you don't have to, because any form of tillage does dry out your soil. But if I can get out here and see this whole water running there yet, see what's out here for greenery. I don't see very much, and those sprayer tracks to me indicate that yes, in fact, I did come back out here and spray it late in the fall. So we could have some pretty good weed control, certainly around thistles and stuff like that. I don't see anything growing yet. Let me stop here and have a kick the dirt a little bit. Now this is always the case when it's early like this and you're itching to get going. You look around and you're like, oh, this will go. But you can see I just made a little bit of a loop in the field with the pickup. I actually had to stop there and back up. Even right here, that's not ideal seeding conditions. That's still a bit wet, so probably another day. But it's good to know. It is good to know. Just what to do. The other thing I could do is seed my sunflowers, and then on the rest of that piece of ground, because it's about 200 acres and we're only going to seed 30 acres of it to sunflowers, seed the rest of it to wheat, give this another day or two, and then come out here and seed this to wheat. But I don't know. The other thing about calibrating the drill and getting it going really for the first time of the year all the time, that usually takes a few hours in itself. So we'll see what Saturday brings. So for a little bit of an understanding, everything is driven off of that main shaft on this mill. I think probably everybody that watches this channel knows that, because I talk about this mill, or I use this mill daily, so it's generally mentioned. Then this big chain, so once you engage that lever there, this big chain starts to turn, which in turn drives this gear. And then there was that hex shaft that ran through everything. and then it drives an upright gear, which turns this and drives that. So kind of it's an interesting design. It's very hard to work on because everything is like put together, and it's all like, it's like a one of those puzzles you get at Christmas that no one can solve, where it's all put together in a certain way at once in order to make it all fit, with the gears and the bevel gears and the chains and the shafts and everything and the bearings. So very frustrating to work on. Of course, if you had the money at the time, they did have hydraulic options where there was hydraulic motors all over. So a hydraulic motor to drive this auger, hydraulic motor to drive that one. I think even the vertical auger inside the mix auger was hydraulic. That would be better. And I think at some point in the future, if I look at upgrading this mill again, I'll get the hydraulic features. Just better. There's too many shear pins, too many chains, too much slop in everything, and it's always banging in and out, and it's very hard to keep it all. It's very hard to keep it all bright, tight, and everything like that. They're quite high maintenance. That being said, I mean, I put tons through this thing, so they do work. It's just they need a lot of daily maintenance. So what I'm going to do right now, his dad thinks that something must have actually jammed up to break that shaft. I don't. I think that shaft was probably, due to the bang, 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 was developing cracks and cracks and cracks. And today was the day it decided to fail. Just like the viscous fan on that tractor. It was failing and failing and failing, and the other day was the day it decided to fail. So in case he's right, take my trusty dusty pipe wrench here and turn that auger by hand to empty out the barley that is stuck in there. And I guess if it doesn't turn at all, we'll know something's jammed, but I think it will go. Then after that, I'm going to quickly move some of these bags around, get them set out for people to pick up. Once that's done, I'm gonna fuel up Blue, and we're gonna get into drill calibration mode. So it actually spins pretty easy, so I don't think anything was stuck in there. But we'll get it emptied anyways, and then when we go to fire it up again for the first time, it won't be right full of grain. Because that usually blows the shear pin for sure. And you fire this up with this auger full. Check that out. Just got back from my neighbors, built this hex shaft for me. Unbelievable. I think if I could go back in time, I probably would have been a machinist. So he had, what, he said like 1.25 inch round stock. And he put it in his milling machine, and he got 1 inch hex. Drilled these holes for me. And now I'm going to throw my coveralls on and climb under that red beast. Install this part. Be able to get that mill empty. Finish making the last bag that I had to make. Then go over. And then we'll do the drill. It's always in farming, right? You never get done what you think you're going to get done. Then of course, right, so you've seen earlier in the video, it's just, we don't have any ground that would go 100%. So we're not going to start driving around wet spots in April. So we give it another day or two, and then hopefully by then be ready to go. Hopefully it doesn't rain. Sometimes that happens too. You wait and then it rains. So it's not good. Well, good evening. I'm very much tired, so I think all I'm going to do here tonight, calibrate this drill. I was under it, checked all the depths, checked all the mud scrapers, make sure they're not touching. Weird things happen over winter, and sometimes they're whatever. Anyways, none of the hoses were plugged, so life should be good on that. We filled it up with fertilizer, put a couple bags of sunflower seeds in, And then what I did, I used this bag and I run some sunflower seeds through to get the meter full. And the fertilizer, I also ran it through, but I just let it go on the ground because I wasn't carting bags of fertilizer back up or anything. And I was too lazy to put them on, to be honest with you. So that'll get stirred up when I drive over it. No big deal. But what I got to do now, I got to go into the cab and I got to set the monitor to calibration mode, and then I got to push go, and then I got to come back, put those bags on, push the calibration button. The meters are going to start turning, the bags are going to start filling up. Once they get to a reasonable weight, we'll take the bags off, we'll weigh them, write those numbers down, go back into the cab, type those numbers in, easy peasy. The drill will then be calibrated for sunflowers. One thing that's worth noting, an empty bag weighs 0.9 of a pound, I guess. So always good to know that if you want to get real technical with your calibrations. I'm usually not that scientific, but it's good to know. Okay, all 3 bags are on. Now, what you do, these meters are all on. This is the calibration button. That's the button that shorted out on me last year, so that's a new switch. And when I was going down the field, it would short across itself and throw the drill into calibration mode, causing the meters to turn all different speeds, messing up your seeding rate. So to finish out the season last year, I just unplugged it, but I got a new one this year because you can't calibrate it without it. Now, my understanding is you can do them all at the same time. Now, obviously, if you're putting down 200 pounds of fertilizer, and I don't know, I have no idea how many pounds of, like 10 pounds of sunflowers, that's going to fill up a whole bunch faster than that. So what you can do in order to do them all at the same time is, as soon as this bag looks like it's getting to a reasonable weight, you just shut that meter off. The other 2 keep going, shut the next one off, and then you can keep doing your sunflowers and shut it off. Why don't you want to just shut them all off? My understanding, again, is you're going to get a better reading the more weight you can put in a bag. So within reason. I mean, if you fill this bag right up with fertilizer, it's going to be like 200 pounds. So that's ridiculous. But if you put a pound in it, you're not going to get as good of a setting as if you put, say, 20, 30 pounds in it. So enough of that, let's get going here. See if things start to fill up. Oh, there we go. So those meters are all spinning. And we're gonna have to start, I'm gonna set my phone down because I'm gonna have to start shutting meters off here. Well, my finger slipped off this button and I don't know, whatever. I don't know if that's gonna matter or not, but I think I got a reasonable amount in each bag. Of course, I only put 2 bags of sunflower seeds, so there's only 80 pounds in that whole tank. And I don't want to run 50 pounds of it out for risk of it not, whatever, because anyways, I'm tired. So now I gotta weigh these bags, peel them off. That's another thing that's kind of nice when 2 people are here. Someone can help you on the other end, but no one's here to help me right now because it's getting late and everybody went home to watch the hockey game. So I'll get this myself here. So there's the sunflowers. I got 7.7 pounds in the bag, minus 0.9 for the bag, so 6.8 pounds. And I'm gonna do the same with the next 2. The next 2 are both fertilizer, so same situation though. So this is what the screen looks like now. When I originally started it, these were all at 0, and this makes sense. The 3rd tank, that bag filled up first, so I shut it off. Then the next one, it filled up quicker, so I shut it off. And then I don't know, I took my finger off the button, and so the meter started turning slow. So 1 and 2 should have turned about the same amount of times. So when I click stop, I'll be able to enter the weights into the ear, and then the drill will be calibrated. So I got the numbers entered, and another thing that I'm actually finding interesting is meter number 3 is a coarse meter and meter number 2 is a fine meter, and they're both metering out the same fertilizer, the same blend. So it's interesting to see that it took that basically 100 more revelations to get a little bit less fertilizer than it did out of the coarse one. So that's I mean, just something for my own brain, I guess. But now at this point, the drill is ready to go. I don't think I'm gonna seed it tonight. I'm too tired. I can't climb in and out, check depth and all sorts of nonsense. So be a job for tomorrow. It's a good Sunday job. But all in all, it was a pretty successful day. I got my hammer mill full of grain, half empty, broken, taken apart, part made by the neighbor, picked up, put back in, and then the rest of my bags made. Dad got his auger finally fixed and finished cleaning a little bit of wheat seed. That didn't go as well as he thought it was going to go, but whatever, that's good enough. And we got the drill to the field, we got it filled up with fertilizer, calibrated, ready to go for tomorrow. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.